Today I'm going to be making a tier list of almost every college in North Carolina. Now this is going to be pretty broad, but the main factors I'm basing this on are location / campus, prestige, culture, and athletics. So it'll make more sense as we go through it, but let's kick things off right here. The first one that they're going to give us is UNC Asheville. Now I've been to UNC Asheville. Actually, one of my best videos was when I visited UNC Asheville for the first time. I called it one of the most underrated college campuses in North Carolina, and I still think that's true. There's a small but really nice campus right by Asheville, which is one of my favorite cities in North Carolina, and of the two people that I know that go there, they both really like it. So yeah, the only thing that really brings it down is prestige. It's not the best school in the world. It has a couple of good programs, but yeah, because of all that, Asheville is going to go into the B tier. Then we get to App State, probably the biggest school on the mountain side of North Carolina, up in Boone. Boone is a fantastic college town. Their campus is pretty nice as well. Their football team's been doing really well recently. And honestly, everyone that I met that goes to App is so chill, and it just seems like a fun place to go to college. Again, its prestige kind of brings it down a little bit because it's not the best school academically, but of all the schools that have like that 75% plus acceptance rate, I would put App very close to the top, maybe at the top. So App is going to go into my A tier. Wake Forest is a private small school. It is a very good school. I think it's ranked 3rd in all of North Carolina. Their campus is pretty nice, but Winston-Salem itself as a place to live during college, not a huge fan of. Decent athletics all around, but not amazing. And yeah, so overall, of all the factors except for prestige, I'd put it like C, B tier, but because it is a very good school, I'm gonna go ahead and move it up to A tier with App. Also, I really like the gold and black color scheme. UNC Charlotte. Charlotte is a great school. It's one of the less selective of the UNCs again, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. I've been to their campus a couple of times, no complaints there. It's a pretty great campus. There's not really much of a college town setting. Like, it's 20 minutes from uptown Charlotte, which is fun, but you're still pretty far away, and there's not that much to do right next to it. So Charlotte overall, there's definitely things to like, but it's just pretty middle of the road too, so I'm gonna put it in to B tier with Asheville. Gardner-Webb is a small private Christian school, I think, down like somewhat by Charlotte, but it's like 45 minutes away. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Very small campus, nothing too much going for it. I'm gonna put Gardner-Webb in D. I don't know that much about it, but like there's not that many redeeming qualities really in it. Elon, I applied to Elon. I got a scholarship at Elon, but it was still pretty expensive after that scholarship, so I decided not to. But I mean, other than that, it also is like an okay school, like 60-70% acceptance rate, I think. It has a very nice campus. I did really like that when I visited. Again, it's not really near anything. Like, you're kind of just gonna be sticking in campus the whole time unless you want to go to Burlington, North Carolina, which again, not much to do there. Elon, I'm gonna drop into C. I know a lot of people put it towards the top, say it's really underrated. I think it's a very niche school. Like, a lot of people will go if like their parents went or if they just really like the culture there. I think it's pretty average. Shout out my 7th grade math teacher though. He went to Elon and he absolutely loved it and talked about it every day. East Carolina is, again, like an okay school. Like, it does have some really good programs. Like, their pre-med / med program are ranked pretty high up there, and I know a lot of people that go there. If you are more of like a social person, if you like going to parties, you're just meeting a lot of people, the culture fit at ECU is probably really good for you. And they have decent sports, namely like baseball. Football has been okay recently. And Greenville is a fun place to live, so I'm gonna put ECU up into B tier as well. Probably right around the same as Charlotte. I'm not sure if I would choose ECU over Charlotte though. Then we get to UNC Pembroke. With all due respect to UNC Pembroke, you're going into the F tier. I don't know anyone that goes to Pembroke, but it is quite literally in the middle of nowhere in central North Carolina. It has a super small, nothing too special about it campus. It's the easiest North Carolina school to get into, which again is not like a huge factor, but when your acceptance rate is pushing like 93%, it's not the best school, obviously. Yeah, it's pretty hard to find anything to really write home about UNC Pembroke, so it is going to fall into the F tier. I apologize if anyone goes to UNC Pembroke. Then we get to UNC. Maybe slightly biased, but it's gonna go all the way up to S for me, and I'll explain why. When you think of going to college in North Carolina, you think of going to North Carolina. The campus is beautiful. Chapel Hill is a excellent college town to live in. It's got very solid athletics all around. It's the 2nd best school in North Carolina academically, so it really has everything, unless like maybe you really want to do engineering, then yes, that's not offered at UNC. But other than that, like, UNC, in my opinion, even though yes, I did go there, checks all the boxes, and it's gonna go into S for me. Western Carolina, I've never been, but I've seen pictures of it. It's another university that's obviously pretty nestled in the mountains. Okay school, like 70-ish% acceptance rate, but I have not heard much else about it. I do really like their color scheme, but that is not a factor here. Western Carolina, I'm gonna just put it into C tier, I think. UNCW, again, not the best school in the world, but it's okay. I know a few people that went there. Most of them like it. If you're a beach person, you really like it. Wilmington's a cool city to be in, but I don't think UNCW has anything in particular that really stands out for it. So I'm gonna drop that into C tier as well. They also don't have a football team, and I can't imagine going to college where you don't have a football team. That's just me though. Then we get to Duke. I would be remiss if I put Duke anywhere other than S tier. It also has almost everything going for it. A very aesthetically pleasing campus, great facilities, very good athletics all around as well. And the only things that really bring it down are price. Duke is expensive, but if you can afford to swing that and, well, get in the first place, then maybe that's not that big of a factor. And also, it's like stuck up rich kid stereotype, I think holds up a little bit. Like, there are definitely some kids like that there, but I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. So Duke is gonna go into S tier. It is the best school and most prestigious school in North Carolina. That's just a fact. So yeah, Lenoir-Rhyne, I think very similar to Gardner-Webb, small private Christian school. It has a bit of a nicer campus. It has a bit of a better football program, but other than that, again, just gonna go into D for me. I don't know much about Lenoir-Rhyne. Probably just another one of those niche schools that you'll go to if it's what you've been thinking the whole time. And then we get NC State. I'm sorry, NC State. I thought about putting you up in S, but you're gonna go at the very top of A. It has a lot of what Duke and UNC have. Campus is solid. Raleigh's a cool city to be in, although not really a college town. I like most of the people that went there. A lot of my friends went there. And if you're going for engineering or comp sci, that may very well bump it to S tier. But for everything else, and this is not me being biased, but like, it is just not as prestigious of a school, and that's pretty clear when you look into it. But as you say, it's still a great school, and it's gonna be in A tier for me. Then we get to the two HBCUs in North Carolina, NCCU and NCA&T. I'm not gonna pretend I know too much about them. I've been to Central a couple of times over in Durham. It's an okay campus, but from what I've seen online and what I've heard from a couple of my friends, NCA&T just seems like it has more people that are proud to go there and more people that enjoy being by Greensboro than by Durham. Based on that, I'm gonna drop A&T into B and NCCU into C. I think they're both pretty equivalent prestige-wise, like around 50% acceptance rate. Yeah, and obviously there are more HBCUs here, but whoever made this list did not include them. Then we get to High Point. And maybe this is a hot take, but I'm dropping High Point into F. I think there's nothing to me that really stands out about High Point. Yes, it has a pretty modern, nice campus, and it's ranked one of the nicest college dorms. And if that's like your main factor, then I would consider reevaluating your whole college search process. Because I mean, other than that, you're paying a fortune. It's not the best school. It still has like an 85% acceptance rate. High Point is not a great place to be during college. I mean, it's gated, so you're probably not even gonna be out any much. And like, unless you got an athletic scholarship for lacrosse or something, personally, I just don't see any reason to go to High Point out of all of these schools in North Carolina. Correct me if I'm wrong or if you have any other opinions. Campbell is a decent school. I think it's more of like a commuter school for a lot of people. Some good programs. They have a great baseball team, I think. But other than that, nothing too special. So I think I'm between C and D here. You know what, their logo is a C, so I'll drop it in C. But yeah, I guess Campbell, Gardner-Webb, and Lenoir-Rhyne are all of like the main private Christian small schools in North Carolina. I think Campbell is a little step above the other two though. And isn't Belmont Abbey one? I don't know. I'm not gonna bother trying to rank Belmont Abbey. Then we get to UNC Greensboro. Cool campus, again in Greensboro, which is like an okay city to be in for college. I like their logo. I think it's pretty cool. The 2 or 3 people I met that go there are pretty nice, and they enjoyed it for the 3 or 4 years that they've been there. So I'm gonna put Greensboro into B. And they have a really good music program. If you're into music, Greensboro has a pretty well recognized music program, which I found out the other day. So yeah, shout out UNC Greensboro. And then the last 2 that it has on here are Lees-McRae and University of Mount Olive. I don't think I know anything about either of those, so I'm just not gonna bother ranking them. If you know anything, feel free to let me know where you rank them, but it would be unfair for me too, because I genuinely couldn't tell you where Lees-McRae is. I don't think I had heard of it until like an hour before. Mount Olive I've heard of, but don't know anything about. So anyways, that's gonna do it for me. This is my not definitive tier list of every college in North Carolina. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you agree with, disagree with. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Peace out.